What's going on, guys? Today we're taking a look at this. This is the OneBot S6L. It's an e-bike. Let's take a look at it. Alright guys, so OneBot, this is another list for me to do a review of, but we know program must do a positive or negative review. It's my own thoughts on this YouTube video. So, this is an e-bike. E-bikes have been gaining a lot of popularity. Just everything electric has been gaining a lot of popularity these last couple of years, and e-bikes is one of them. They're getting a lot cheaper. I know sometimes they can range up to $3,000, $2,000, $1,000, which this bike is just about at the $1,000 level. So not particularly cheap, but we'll see if it's worth it in this review. So first off, let's take a look at the look of this e-bike, and this is the OneBot S6L. This is a 250 watt motor bike. So the motor is back here. It does have a battery inside here. And I like the look of this bike. The bike just looks good. It doesn't look like your normal bike. It does have 20-inch wheels. So it's a little bit bigger than, you know, your normal e-bikes that you see that are foldable, because this is a foldable bike as well. It does have some mud flaps that make it look a little bit more sportier. It has hydraulics in the back. The pedals are also foldable as well. You can fold those. Everything folds down to be pretty compact, but not super compact. This is a e-bike, and I've noticed a lot of e-bikes nowadays are foldable, and I think most people don't ever fold them because it's a little bit of a hassle to get them folded, and they are big. This one is a wider bike, so I mean longer, really. It's longer than the normal e-bike. I've seen some other ones, especially from OneBot. They tend to be scrunched up, so you're actually kind of riding on like a clown bike. But this one, I feel like the length of it is perfect. I feel like it doesn't make you look too tiny on the bike. It looks like a regular bike. It's the size of a regular bike. I haven't found it to be too tiny at all. So it also has a kickstand. This one also has a 6-speed Shimano derailleur in the back. So when you are going up those hills without the assist, it's going to be easier if you run out of battery. Speaking of the battery, they say it lasts for about 16 miles. Longer if you do use the pedal assist. This one does have a throttle. There are different levels of e-bikes. I think the level 1 is an e-bike where you need to use the pedals in order for it to assist you. This one, it has a throttle, so you could just use that throttle without even pedaling, and that's a classification of a class 2 e-bike. And all these e-bikes are allowed on trails. They're allowed on bike lanes. I think whenever you get up to 30 miles and above, that's when issues arise where it's more of a motorbike than a e-bike. So they don't want you using those bikes on trails or on stuff like that. So this one does have a throttle where you don't need to pedal. It just has a throttle, so you can just use that, but it does not have cruise control. I would like that. Cruise control would have you not have to, crank that throttle the whole time. But other than that, it has a kickstand, I think I said that. It has reflective gear on the back and then on the tires as well. And the front is actually a light. So let me see if I can show you guys that. So right there's the light. Pretty bright. I haven't really used it outside, but from what I can show, I think that light will do just fine. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It also has a horn. So this is the horn. Pretty loud, decently annoying. But let's go ahead and take this outside, and we'll go over a lot of this outside, right when I'm really riding the bike. All right, guys, so took out the bike. I'm on the bike right now. Let's just see how it does with acceleration. I'm 250 pounds, so for sure something lighter is gonna be a lot faster. So here's me going to about the max speed that it goes to, which is about, with me on it, on a flat land, goes just about 14 miles an hour. So right about here. So right now it's about 13.9, 14 is about 14.1. There you go, 14.1, 14.4, hitting that speed. And yeah, I've been using this bike, like I said before, and on trails everywhere. and pretty comfortable ride. I'm 5'11", 250 pounds, and the ride for me has been really comfortable. This one does have a lot of cool features. I do wish it had a cruise control mode, because I mean, you could just cycle and it's pretty easy to turn the wheels, but whenever you don't want to, you just want to, use the throttle over here. You have to hold it. So you have to hold it, which isn't a huge deal, but your hand does get tired after a while, especially if you use it for a lot of the ride. And it does have 2 disc brakes, one in the front, one in the back. Let's test those real quick. Stops pretty fast. Haven't had an issue with it braking, and all the times I've been using it. I rode it probably about 50 miles. Mixed roads like this right now is really not the flattest thing. Lots of little pothole filled in areas, and it does just fine. And on the trails, it rode over gravel. It rode over a sandy area a little bit, and it rode over grass, like pretty seamlessly. I had no issues with it on grass either. So yeah, you could cycle, and it will get above the top speed whenever you just use the throttle. But if you don't, it'll go just about 14.4, 14.2. See, if I just use the throttle, I'm at 14.3, but if I just use the throttle, it's about 14.1. But with my assist, it gets up a little bit higher. And of course, this does have a shifter over here, so it gets up to 6 speeds. So if you do run out of battery, the good thing is that the bicycle is really easy to use even without any sort of battery in there. Like, I can just turn it off, like right now. And now I'm using all my own power, and it's still going at a good speed. Of course, the speedometer turns off whenever you don't use it. But yeah, still the bike is very useful even without any assist. So this is the first speed. Let's test the first speed. This is first speed with my big butt on it. It'll get to 7 miles, 7.2 miles an hour, 7.3, a little bit more, 7.5. On the second gear, it'll get, I think, to just about 10. So I do think the gears are useful, especially in a crowded area. If you are in a crowded area, you don't want to be accelerating so fast. So, just having a 10 mile an hour at max speed is going to not have you go too crazy. Then if I go to third gear, of course, like we said before, it goes up to 14 miles an hour, almost 15. Probably with some people a lot lighter than me, it'll get up to 15 miles an hour. I think the bike looks great. I don't look awkward in it. I'm a big guy, and I think it looks just fine with me riding on it. It's a good look. The shocks on the back, it does help to take away some of those bumps away from the road. So, comfy ride. I have no issues at all with this bike, except for it having a cruise control. That would be cool. Let's go ahead and listen to the horn real quick. It does have a horn. That is the horn. It's loud enough to be annoying, and yeah, just perfect. I think he also has a light, so let's see if I can turn on the light. I think if I hold down the top speed, it actually turns on the light. Yeah, there you go. There's a light right there. If it was darker, the light would be brighter. It does not have a light in the back. That's another thing that would probably be pretty useful for this bike if it had a rear light that actually turned on. But the front light, from what I've seen, is pretty bright. I haven't used that out when it was dark. And then it also has mud flaps. Y'all see the mud flaps over here. There's one in the front, and there's also one in the back. So 2 mud flaps so you don't get all nasty when you use this. I think this is a great commuter bike if you are RVing, if you went to the beach, like Galveston. Bring this out to Galveston, this would be awesome to have for sure. But we'll talk about all the other features in it when we get back inside. And so this is the review from the outside. Handles pretty good. All right, guys, so that was my experience outside. Like I said, I do like the bike. I do feel like it does not fit me too small, especially for a guy like me. I'm 250 pounds. I feel like the bike is just right for my size. And it's not a super fast bike. It only goes about 15 miles an hour at my weight. I think the top speed is about 15.5, probably 14.5 at my weight, especially in a flat area. If going downhill, I'll definitely go a lot faster. But let's check out how it folds. So basically how it folds, you have to undo the kickstand. There's a latch right here. You just unlatch that. There's also one over here that you unlatch, fold in the handlebars, and then you fold it in like this. And then to make it even more compact, you would take off the seat. So that's as small as it gets right there. There is also a nice little wheel underneath this part, and you could roll it around. So you could just roll it. It makes it easier to transport. Like I said, this is a little bit heavy. It's about 50 pounds, 55 pounds, so not super light, but I was able to take this on a trip to Brazos Bend, and my friend's car was a Civic. We were able to stick this in the back of the trunk. And while I thought it was a little bit bulky to fit in the trunk, it fit there. Just probably a lot of people, I don't think they fold their e-bikes that often. So let's unfold it. And again, I am 5'11". I think you could probably go up to 6'2" on this bike because my seat isn't all the way up. I actually put it to just about here. So it's not all the way up. And again, I think the ride and the feel of it on is really comfortable. I've taken the e-bike out on trails over at Brazos Bend. Super easy trails, just kind of gravelly. I rode it over grass and it did just fine. Probably a crazy hard trail where there's a lot of elevations, up and downs. I probably wouldn't take it on, but you could try for sure. The shock on the back, it does help with some of those bumps. But again, it's a comfortable ride for me. I think that, if you are looking for an e-bike, this one is probably gonna be a good one for you. I really have no complaints about it. Like I said, my only complaint are 2. So these are my complaints about this bike is that it doesn't have cruise control for the throttle. Like you can't have it always on. You have to hold the throttle on the whole time, and it doesn't have a back light. So it has a reflector, doesn't have a back light. And then, it's a little bit heavy. That's probably the next one. It's a little bit heavy and a little bit bulky at its size. But other than that, I feel like the bike, it works well. I've been using it a lot. I have been enjoying it. It doesn't go super fast. So if you want to go, 20 miles an hour, this bike is not going to do it. There's only a 250 watt motor in here. Look for something in the 750 watt range to go faster. But I think that for people who are camping, going out to the beach, using it casually, this is a great casual bike. It's not going to be your daily commuter. It could be, I guess, but I think it's for like vacation travel, some stuff like that, where you're really using it for your own enjoyment more than a form of transportation. But on the website, it says it can go about 600 miles with pure throttle if you're only using the electric motor, and with pedal assist, you could go about 24 miles. For me, I've been using it. I feel like it goes pretty long. I've used it during the browserless band that went around 10 miles, and I just went another 4 miles out here, and it still has, you know, a good percent of battery. So I think that 16 to 20 mile range is what you're gonna get out of this bike. Maybe a little bit more if you pedal assist, but that's about the range you're going to get, about 16 to 20 miles on this on average if you're not going super fast. How much does this cost? On Amazon right now, it's $999. So it is pretty expensive. I did see that on their own OneBot website, it goes on sale for about $499. So less than 500 bucks for a nice e-bike. I think that's a better price. I wouldn't pay $1,000 for it. I would go to the website, their own OneBot website, buy it over there for $499. That's gonna be a lot better deal than $1,000 over on Amazon. So what I'm gonna give this is a Goku Runner score. I'm gonna give this a Goku Runner thumbs meh, just because of that price. On Amazon, it's $9.99. On the OneBot site, it's $4.99. So if it was $4.99 all around, that's a good price for it. But for 1,000 bucks for this bike, it's not that fast, but it will get you to where you want to go, just not super fast. So it just gets a meh for me, just because it does have two prices on Amazon and then on the OneBot site as well. So yeah, that's going to be my review of this bike. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Let me know if you have an e-bike and what kind of e-bike you do have in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed this review of this OneBot S6L. If you guys did, make sure to leave me a comment down below. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.